So we decided to do a road trip again, didn't we, Amira?
Woo! Take two!
Take two. This time, we're way more prepped. Woo! What do you think about the prices? It's crazy. We're playing a game of what's the most outrageously expensive thing we can find at the supermarket.
That's like £7.
2 peppers.
Some peppers.
Amira, I've got a really fun fact about Iceland for you.
Go for it.
Did you know most Icelandic people believe in elves?
Hello.
Yeah. So 30 to 40% of Icelandic people believe in elves, and the people are called Huldufólk, and they're said to live in lava fields.
There's a lot of people though.
Hi! The elves are real. Oops. Hand up in the car.
Who's going to get the puffin? I'm taking the puffin.
Thank you. It's a house.
We say good morning, we can say this word all the way up till 6 p.m. And that is dying. It's like somebody is dying, but it's not, nobody's dying, you're being polite. So if you smile and say dying, you're being nice. If you're grumpy and say dying, you're being mean. Alright, we're about to start. Are you ready? Woo! There you are. 3, 2, 1, and go!
So the race started with like an 8-kilometre neutral section along a road before we turned onto the first gravel section. So this is the end of the neutral, and like any gravel race, started off pretty hard, up a climb. What's quite hard with mass start races like this is trying to spot who are women amongst a mass of men. But by now I feel like I recognise a lot of the women in the kind of gravel field, so I was looking for where the women were and like roughly where I was in the field. But yeah, it started pretty hard, and then we came into the first river crossing. So this actually isn't the first river crossing, that one doesn't count. There are a lot of ones like that in the race, but this is the first actual crossing. And I did actually manage to make it through all of them without putting my foot down, but you just had to like really commit, and had no idea about the depth where you were riding, and like most people were coming off or like trying to walk their bike, but you just had to commit to a line. And yeah, this guy nearly knocked me off here. The gravel started pretty rough, and most of the time there was only really 2 lines you could actually take through the gravel. Right, so let's warm up again. So about 20k in, I was 5th woman I think, and my saddle tilted back again on the seat post, which was such a shame. And I just kind of kept calm and took it off and put it back on again, and then got moving again. So I didn't lose that much time, but I unfortunately lost several groups, and the group I was riding with, who I was never ever going to see again, which I did know. But I kind of put my head down and thought, right, I've just got to try and start working forward now and try and work back as far forward as I can. But we hit quite a few climbs like this that were pretty steep, and really were pushing a lot of people off the bike. The other surprise I wasn't expecting was the sand. I just didn't think that there would be sand at all, and there were like these huge patches of quite thick sand that, as you can see, like people were really having to get off at. There were several bits I could ride, but a few times I did have to get off my bike and run it. The scenery was actually, how I would describe it, as otherworldly. Like, this looked like I was on another planet, looked like something like Mars. It was just absolutely beautiful, and you'd turn corners and there'd just be an incredible view again, and into the distance you could just see volcanoes. It was honestly absolutely insane. In terms of the race here, I was just working my way forward gradually, trying to basically see how far forward I could work within the women. The rider ahead, Alex, actually had a camera on the back of his bike, so here we get another shot of the same shot there. after having to stop for a couple of minutes to sort my saddle out, my legs were actually really hurting at this point. Getting back on the bike after that, they just really felt uncomfortable, not a feeling I'm really used to having on the bike. They did start to feel better again at this point, and then I was honestly just distracted by the views. So I don't know how my legs were feeling at this point. I was just looking all around. This bit was probably the most aesthetic section of the course, and some of the descents were actually pretty fast as well. And yeah, more little river crossings like this that didn't count as official river crossings, but good fun to kind of like vary the terrain a bit. I did end up alone for chunks of time here, and I'm not really sure why, but I did end up completely on my own and kind of regretting that a bit, but deciding that I was just going to keep pushing on at the pace I was pushing on and hopefully find other people. But it did make some awesome content entirely on my own.
Sorry. Can I come through? Thanks.
Overall, the elevation for the course was actually not that much, but it really didn't feel like that when actually doing it. It definitely felt like we were doing more climbing than it was saying. So there were a couple of like ridiculous walls, and I think some of them were rideable. This one was rideable, and I don't think my GoPro gives some of them justice, but there was one that was honestly like, it was this one here. It was literally like a vertical wall, and there were people at the top taking content of everyone having to walk up. I don't think a single rider could ride up this because it was so ridiculously steep. Yeah, you can see here, I've just got off, and it honestly was too steep for anyone to ride. This is crazy. So this bit here was definitely the deepest river crossing, and I couldn't really tell how deep it was, but I could see everyone in front of me was walking, but I just committed to it, and it was very, very, very deep. I think it came up almost to my hip at one point. I definitely need to have a look at my bottom bracket bearings. But yeah, that rider in front is Finya, who I know quite well. So I saw her and I was like, right, amazing, tapped on the back, let's work together. And we worked together for a really good chunk of time, actually. We were two-upping for a long, long time. You can also see here we're struggling with the washboards, and the washboards were so bad on the course. And that's one thing everyone was talking about after the race. I don't think anyone appreciated quite how rough it was going to be. And there were points where honestly there wasn't a smooth line. So we found some other riders to work with, and then we kind of just gradually worked our way forward, and with a few groups from about here onwards for the rest of the race. But my GoPro did die. I actually don't know what kilometre it died at. I think it was about 120. So we worked forward a fair bit, and then I kind of left towards the end and managed to finish in 7th place, which was all right given the saddle problems.
It's not a tree.
Yeah.
It's a Maddie tree.
I thought it was like
Bananas?
great flavours.
It's like south of like.
Good morning, Tasha.
How are you feeling?
I'm actually feeling fine, you know. I'm going to go for a bike ride.
You're crazy.
I don't know whether I need to tell people about the injuries to the bits yesterday, but I think everyone had injured bits.
I think you do need to tell everyone about the injuries to the bits.
It was just so bumpy that I think it wasn't good for downstairs areas. What about you? How are your bits, Tasha?
Oh, my bits are absolutely wrecked. I'm not riding today.
One of the most noticeable things about Iceland has been like we haven't been stuck at any moment for something to do.
There's almost too much stuff to do. It's like you have to pick what you want to do and what you want to prioritise.
We're off! So have done the race. Well, I did the race. Amira's back is not okay, which is very sad. But now, important part, we're on holiday. Hello. Look at our bed. We are going on a hike. We started recording on Strava because obviously we're exercising, so we need to get that on Strava, otherwise it didn't happen. And yeah, we're hiking up. Let me get a shot of it. It's a hot river. Hot river. And we're gonna go swim in the hot river. And we got there before anyone else really got there.
It was steaming, it was so hot. We actually couldn't get in when we wanted to, so we had to go further back. But it was so nice. It was really, really nice.
Just making sure to fuel my walk / hike. Got to keep carbohydrates in. Next stop on Amira and Maddie's tour of Iceland is... What are we doing?
Going to the volcano.
And by volcano, we mean actually erupting right now volcano. We are going to go see some lava. Walk update. That, I think, is our end destination. So just for time update, we are 2.5 hours in to hike number 2 of the day.
5.5 miles.
5 miles. Well, that's a good point. We do have to return as well. It's not a one-directional hike. Oh my god. That was so much better than I expected. That was insane.
An erupting volcano, kind of like, not a day wasted obviously because it was amazing, but that was like a day gone that we didn't plan. When you're driving, you just see so many places you want to stop.
Morning coffee. We had an initial plan, and the initial plan...
I planned to drive the whole way round, which was very naive of me, and then I heard someone say on the plane, oh, like a lap of the island would take you at least 2 weeks, and I was like, I think we need to readjust our plan. We've actually not got that far from Reykjavik or the race, have we really? But it's been amazing. Like, I already want to come back and do so much more.
Just to keep YouTube incredibly real, Amira and I are knackered.
And we smell.
And we smell as we've not had a shower since training this morning. I'm so tired. We've just hit touristing so hard.
It's just too much to do, and we're trying to do everything. It's so nice.
So we're going to try and have an early night tonight. Try. We're going on a whale hunt.
We saw whales! Humpback whales, lots of them. We must have seen like 10 whales. It was really cool. They're like, I love seeing whales. I just think it's really magical.
It's so good. Amira found this geothermal hot tub.
Basically, I was showering. Yeah, it was like a circle of rocks, and I don't even know why, but for some reason it had like 40-degree water in. It's really hot.
We even managed to go to this ice creamery on the way back to Reykjavik.
Yeah. So we also spent some time there today, which was nice. We had a bit of a hot, dirty bath, but we felt better after it.
Maybe I should get a van.
Mine is the driver's license.
Mine is the driver's license. Next stop, Maddie gets a driver's license and a van. More adventures. If anyone wants to sponsor me with a van, I'll get my driver's license for it. So the Tracker 360, I put a bit too much pressure on my toe, and then my toenails finally come off. It's been months. Do I rip it off?
I can get rid of it before the race.
Oh, so gross.
What should I do?
Oh, you disgusting man.
adrenaline.